And Carl Witzman, morning. It is morning. It is broken, just like Cat Stevens said. Let's hope we can fix it now. And I'm in a side room again. Oh, good for you, darling. We'll find you. Don't worry. Anyway, no, hope everyone is having a wonderful day so far. Veronica Close. Mwah! Hope you're doing well, hun. Hope all is well with you. Oh, man. Yeah, let's see. Busy morning as always. Woke up early after a short night. Which, by the way, speaking of my short night, I do hope you will catch last night's clever title pending. It turned out terrifically. I thought I've gotten a lot of good compliments about it. We had Cindy Kep and Charles F. Millhouse on last night, and the questions we got from the Nevermorians were amazing. All right, so please, it's an hour and 45 minutes, but I think you're going to get a lot out of it. I hope you enjoy it. Please check out that video. Please, please, please. And here we go. And Stephen Saranich, good morning, my friend. Stephen, good to see you. Hope you're having a fantastic Wednesday morning so far. May 20th. Holy cats, we are 2/3 of the way through May 2020. And just as we said on a post earlier this week, it's a new movie, 2020, written by Stephen King, brought to you by directed by Quentin Tarantino. So anyway, now I understand why the Chinese would curse people by saying, may you live in interesting times. Anyway, it's good to have you here, Stephen. It's good to have everybody here. And it's also good to have Joe Bachman here. Joe, glad to have you as always. And Tyrone Tony Reed Jr., who knows the drill here. I see he's already doing it. Good morning, everyone. And TyroneTonyReedJr.com. Excellent, sir. Excellent. You're the bright spot on this Wednesday morning. Well, I hope, Tyrone, I turn out to be the worst thing that happens to you today. So hopefully this sets the bar real high for a real good day. I woke up looking forward to watching your show. Well, I look forward to seeing you here, man. Just seeing your name pop up makes me happy. Everyone have a great and productive day. Tyrone, thank you so much. All the best in the world. Much love to you and your wife. And everyone, I hope you all have a productive day today. I'm planning on it. I need to do some creating today. Hope you do the same, because now's a great opportunity, okay? And let's see, and I believe I said hello. Joe Bachman, glad to have you here. I lose track of where I am sometimes. And Carl Wisman, Sarah, get over here. Sarah's just fine where she is, where I can find her. Anyway, and yes, last night was great. I'm glad it was good for you too. Anyway, last night's show I think went very well. And thank you to everyone who has supported the new format of Clever Title Pending, which happens every Tuesday night at 8 p.m., 7 p.m. Central. It's a little bit more work. It's actually a lot more work than this show. This show is pretty easy, but I actually have to prepare for my interviews and such. And we are going to be doing some really fun shows and some useful shows. Sometimes we will have specific people on, or groups of people that may have something really interesting to say, or sometimes subjects. And we are going to do one. I've yet to formalize this coming Tuesday's episode. But one thing I would like to cover, for instance, is imposter syndrome. But yeah, we've got some plans for that show. We're very pleased with the results so far, and to the response from you, the public. Thank you so much for every bit of it, and thank you to everyone who watched last night. And Michaela Jade, hello from YouTube. Mwah, Michaela, thank you for checking out my YouTube channel. And right now, if you would like to check out my YouTube channel, we are going to be populating it with more stuff. Not just videos, but stuff. But anyway, there is my YouTube address. Look for camouflage, misspelled camouflage, I know, 61821. We are currently simulcasting this show and Clever Title Pending, not only on my profile page, but also on Rising Tide, where some of you may be. Also, the On Cons Experience channel here on Facebook and YouTube here. And so if you're watching live, and I welcome you, and if you're watching on the rerun, we welcome you too. So check us out. You have a variety of places that you cannot escape from us. And also, the YouTube channel will soon be populated with some fresh material that won't be appearing originally here on the Book of Faces. So we've got some instructional stuff coming up. It's going to be a little different. We're it's real easy to be sarcastic at times, and I'm finding my scripts are veering in that direction. So please, when you see us on YouTube, please subscribe and give our videos a like. That helps us out a lot because algorithms, uh, the accursed algorithms. But anyway, Michaela, wow, thank you for watching on there. Also, let me know, Michaela, but do you also find that one, there's less lag, better picture quality, and better sound on YouTube? I think there is. So, but I really like it when other people verify what I think I already know. Brian Rhodes, good morning. I enjoyed last night's clever title painting. Lots of good insights and conversation. Thank you, Brian Rhodes. I appreciate that. Brian, please put in your promotion. Everybody, if you're watching me live or if you're watching me on the reruns, please put in your information. Do you have a blog? Do you have a YouTube channel? Do you have a GoFundMe going right now? Any sort of crowdfunding? Do you have someone in mind that doesn't promote themselves enough, but you think they should? Or do you have a charity that you're fond of that you'd like to get some people to pay attention to? Put that in the comments, hit that enter key, and let's share this video so that other people can see it. But anyway, Brian, I'm so glad you enjoyed that. That means a lot to me, man. I appreciate it. And Russell Allen says, good morning. Russell, good morning to you, sir. Hope you are having a fantastic day so far. And Sarah, oh, here I am where everyone is. Thanks, Carl. I got lost. Well, I'm going to read most of the comments anyway, Sarah, so, you won't miss a whole lot. It'll be like radio, the joyous days of live radio. And Steven said, produced name correctly. Bravo. Well, thank you. Yeah, we've got a 50-50 chance of me hitting the name, and chances are I will mispronounce it before before the end of the show. It's almost inevitable. I for someone who's been called Brain Morse far too many times, I should be more sensitive or at least better at this. But anyway, Stephen, I'm glad you're here, and I'm glad I got it hit right. Michaela Jade is working, so if you could be so kind as to plug me, I will add links wherever I can. Well, darling, for that kind of offer, I will plug you as much as you want, and I don't care who sees it. Anyway, please check out Warrior's Secret. Michaela Jade has a brand new book out on Amazon and on, I believe it's barnesandnoble.com too. So actually, if you want a copy of her book to drop in at your local Barnes and Noble, you could actually order it and have it come to that Barnes and Noble, I believe. If I'm incorrect, please correct me. I can always stand to learn, but yeah, definitely check out the work of Michaela Jade. She is awesome. She is terrific. And Carl Wisman, I watched part of last night's show in reruns. Well, there you go. And it's just like Thanksgiving dinner. It tastes just as good, maybe even better the second time around. Now, we had Cindy Kemp and Charles F. Milhouse. They've been producing work for quite some time. And Carl actually has been an author doing this authoring thing before print on demand, before ebooks, and sometime I got to get him on the show and just talk about that because, back then, back in the late 90s and before, real quick aside here, if you wanted to print your own books, you had to print like thousands of them at one time to make it worth, to bring the per unit costs down from a private printer. And even then, nobody was really editing these things or art directing them, formatting them correctly. And so you had these books that you had to trust your printer to do in the proper format. And then where were you going to sell them? I mean, we were still back on dial-up in the late 90s, okay? Email was not quite a thing yet. And print on demand was just like something out of a science fiction story. But Charles published anyway. And he's got over 20 books out now, a marvelously solid promotional platform on Charles F. Milhouse Presents on Facebook, and a great interview show he's just started, Indie Showcase, where he spoke to me one week, and I had a great time talking to him. It was a great interview. And then last week, he talked to Bobby Nash, and Bobby is a great author, BobbyNash.com, and had a lot of insights. It was really a good program between that, between what he does and Onward with Henri on YouTube. great promotional stuff, great stuff that if you want to learn how to do this business right, these are the two you need to start watching. And Nick Tockert says, okay, and there we go. And let's see, we're going to catch up with us. Okay, here we go. I'm going to have to go to, we're going to have to go to the video here. And let's see here. Yeah, that's the thing. Sometimes when your message gets too long, StreamYard cuts it off. Okay, just like Facebook will do sometime. Except I can read it off of Facebook. Good morning, Nevermorian, says Nick Tockert. I am going to interrupt your regularly scheduled program to ask a slightly different favor. This is the anniversary of someone very dear to me's suicide attempt. I have spent a vast amount of time trying to reach out to folks to help them through that over the years and ask you, wisest of the wise, to do so as well. Depression and suicidal thoughts are a heavy burden, so today please reach out to those you know are hurting and to the ones who always seem the happiest. You never know whose life you may save. Thank you, Nick. Wow, Nick, that's powerful, man. Thank you for sharing that. And I'm not trying to hijack your message at all, man, but I do want to amplify on it. We don't know who's suffering sometimes. And so I think that's why it behooves us all to be as kind as possible whenever possible. And speaking of that, Nick, this year is the 30th anniversary of my own suicide attempt. This was before I started dating Cookie, and I was involved in a disastrous relationship that when I realized how far bad it had gone, I did attempt to take my own life. I am sorry that I put my friends and everybody through this worry. And it was an act of incredible selfishness, but there are just some times when it seems the only viable alternative, as dangerous as it is. And when you feel like you've run out of options. So please, if you do know someone that's hurting, I would agree with Nick. Please reach out to them today and just tell them hi and tell them you care. You never know who you're talking off the ledge. And some people never give a clue as to how badly they're hurting. But if you do see someone who you think is having a rough time of it, please reach out and just let them know that at least one person cares, because sometimes we need the reminders. Okay, Nick, God bless you, man. I love the hell out of you. I really do. That is great. And Teresa Dunn says, good morning, Sir Brian and fellow authors. My fellow poet, I'm glad you're here. Well, I don't write poetry unless it rhymes with Nantucket. Anyway, hope you're having a great morning, Teresa. Glad to see you. And Tracy Rosa, happy Hump Day. Happy Hump Day to the author of the Michael McGuire Mysteries and very viable and playable too playbooks on Amazon. Check out Tracy Rosa. Also go to Facebook. He has a page there called Tracy Rosa, author, actor, Renaissance man. He does it all. He does it well. Tracy, hope you're having a good day so far. Hope your morning's going well. And Teresa Dunn has a link to her book, Poetry Expressions, which I put up and I can't find right now. Otherwise, I'd hold it up for everyone. Anyway, check it out on Amazon. She is a fantastic author. She is currently, to show you how serious she is about this, she's no fly-by-night here. She is actually working on her third book of poetry. Poetry Expressions, you see in this link, is her first book. I'm currently editing the second book. So anyway, yes, Sarah, less lag on YouTube, but this is working okay. Well, good. Well, we're glad you have options. We really want you to have options. Bill Sarton, welcome to the conversation. Glad you're here. Charles F. Millhouse, star of last night's show with Cindy Cap. Hope you're having a good morning so far, my friend. Ted Davies, I see you here. Pardon me. And Ken Keller. Ken, everybody, Nevermorians, and thank you to everyone who helped this one. Ken Keller just passed $1,000, shot way past his crowdfunding goal on Kickstarter for Red Talon 1 and 2. I'm so excited. I want those books. Ken, get busy. I've already finished Hybrid, Sons of Gods. Now you need to keep me entertained. Otherwise, who knows what mischief I could get up to. Anyway, Ken, glad you're here. And again, congratulations, buddy. I'm so proud of you. You done good. Brian Rhodes says an imposter syndrome episode would be interesting and helpful. Yeah, Brian, it's kind of funny when I talk to people And it's surprising sometimes who reveals this, but I have found more creative people who suffer from imposter syndrome than who don't, at least in my experience. And I am the poster child for it. I really am. I mean, some people poo-poo it like writer's block. They think, "Well, that doesn't exist." It's like, if you've got it, it exists. Don't tell me it's like saying, you with the yellow skin, you can't have jaundice. What are you talking about? I don't believe in that. I wish it was like Dungeons and Dragons. You could just simply, yell, I disbelieve, and make a roll with a D20. It doesn't work that way. But anyway, yeah, I'm thinking we might make that the theme of next week's show. I've got a couple other things in mind that, we'll do on the Tuesday night show. Which, by the way, does everyone like the Tuesday night show where it is? Because I have honestly been thinking about moving the time for that show. Because we get a number of the same people at this show and that show. So, we may have an opportunity to take the Clever Title Pending program into another place. So please, either voice your opinion here today, right now, or send me a direct message on Facebook Messenger. I would be interested in your opinion. Okay, but yeah, Brian, imposter syndrome is real personal to me. I tell people, and it's the truth, I'm not lying about it, that I've sold, copies of my books in foreign countries I've never been in, that I don't know how they found me. I do a lot of media appearance. I am, like a regular media whore right now. I do a lot of shows, a lot of broadcasting, and I'm grateful to my audience for supporting me. I am so blessed. But then every now and then it's like, why is everybody being nice to me? Why does anybody think I'm important? It's just me. That usual insecurity. And I have to remind myself that, my resume is pretty solid. But yeah, I think it's a public service. So yeah, we'll be probably doing a series of shows with different people talking about imposter syndrome and how we deal with it, which in my case is obviously badly. So anyway, Russell Allen says, thanks for the shameless plugs. Check me out at Russ Explode Studios. I have a live show tonight talking about my book and the release of my website. Well, Russell, don't stop now. Tell everyone where you can be found. All right. Excellent. And by the way, speaking of programming notes, don't forget the OnCon Network at 4 p.m. today. New content every day at 4 p.m. Eastern. Also on the weekends, all kinds of freewheeling discussion on comics and crowdfunding and all manner of things. New changes are coming to the OnCon Network. This broadcaster will be part of that, as will Meredith Walgren, who, by the way, on Friday night on the Geek Insider page, also geekinsider.com, she will be at 7 p.m. Eastern, 6 p.m. Central. She will be having the second episode of the Comics Noob, where she is allowing us to witness her journey to become a comic book creator. And last week I was on the show. We had a great panel talking about from idea to script. And this week, we're going to talk about pitching your idea. And I have some experience with not only delivering the idea I've got, but also receiving ideas. And it's going to be a great conversation. If you're a creative person or you just want to see the carnage, she runs a good show. But what by carnage, I mean, if you want to see some people talking about how messy things can get, I urge you to watch this show. Again, it's 7 p.m. on the Geek Insider page here on the Book of Faces, or also Meredith Walgren's page. Also, on YouTube. She's everywhere. She's like me. She's just like in your hopes, your dreams, your fears. Anyway, Charles F. Millhouse, hello all. Hello to you, sir. Hope you had a great night. And there's Paul S. Roof with the Indie Creators Unite channel. Good morning, everyone. Good morning to you, Paul. Hope you had a great morning so far, and it's going to get better today. Carl Witzman, at least we had horses to power the printing press. That's right. That's right, and that was that was when the monks that we would send our books to for copying, their wrists got tired, right? Bill Sargent says, "Good morning, Brian and Nevermorians. Whatever day this is, I'm the wrong person to ask. Feeling like it's been Groundhog Day every day lately. Cue up Sunny and Sherry. Yeah, Yeah, it's like I have to have my planner, I have to have this book with me at all times in order to have even a prayer of knowing what day of the week it is. And I have to like mark my place and figure out, well, let's see. Okay, last night I talked to Cindy Kep and Charles F. Millhouse. It's got to be Wednesday. So, and tomorrow I have an appointment with a dear friend of mine to do some comic book signing, and it's not a convention; it's for a Kickstarter pledge. And we're going to get that done tomorrow. And then Friday, I've got the Comics Noob. I'm going to be on the panel. So, and then Sunday on Nevermind the Furthermore is continued story day. We are going to be reading chapter 7 from my book Santa Sign, and we're probably going to have some programming notes because I will say there are going to be some changes to this show coming soon. Mostly for my sake, that we are hoping to outline. We should have everything formalized by then. But there's big things coming down the road, and we want you all to be a part of it. And there's going to be a few changes, but if there's anything the last 3 months have taught us is that change may not be welcome, but it is inevitable. So, anyway, Teresa Dunn said, I enjoyed listening to Cindy and Charles. Their answers were quite helpful. Weren't they, though? I mean, I got a lot out of it myself. I mean, we're never too old to learn, right? Especially at my age. Yeah, and I got to say, Cindy and Charles, you two were fantastic last night, and we are going to have you both back on again if you are willing. And actually, there's going to be a show coming up soon with Charles and Bobby Nash and myself. We're going to schedule that this week, hopefully. And Ted Davies, good morning. Drying out, huge flooded areas up here. Send prayers to Michigan. Ted, definitely. Oh man, stay safe. I was reading this morning at some community, and I don't remember the name of it, but their downtown is looking at being under 9 inches of water. That doesn't sound like much, but when you figure it's going into basements, that's going into businesses. This is in the downtown district. So you're looking at businesses, you're looking at inventory being damaged at a time when businesses can't afford it. I mean, holy cow, does this sound like Wrath of God stuff or what? I mean, if we writers are not keeping tabs on things and filing this away for future stories, then turn in your keyboard. I swear. Every damn day. So yeah, Ted, stay safe, man, and keep me posted. All right. Oh, and I got a glimpse of your cover. I was talking to Luke Stone last night. Ted Davies provided a cover for the variant edition of issue 5 of Luke Stone's awesome title, Hybrids, the Sons of Gods. And looks even better than what I saw before. Very cool, very cool. And speaking of very cool, there is the one, the only Rodney Fike. Rodney, good morning to you, my man. Good morning, Brian. Good to see you today. Rodney, always a pleasure to see you. Hope your morning's going well. Glad to see you. Hey, check out Comics Cubed in Kokomo last Sunday, or not Sunday, but Saturday. Rodney was gracious enough to lend his incredible talent in an auction for Comics Cubed in Kokomo, Indiana. It's a fantastic comic shop where they've been working their hindquarters off, keeping the place going while Indiana is in lockdown. Now we're in phase 2 of a 5-step lockdown, and things are better. Sean D. Hilton can now open his doors to the general public. Yay! Finally. But during that time of the lockdown, he still is doing twice weekly shows, and tonight he's having another one at 6 p.m. on the Comics Cubed in Kokomo page on Facebook. Also check out Sean D. Hilton. That's SHAWN D as in delightful and delicious. Hilton, like the hotel chain, not Paris. Anyway, we think better of him. But anyway, check out those 2 pages, because frequently Sean will get packages in, and we do talk about the size of our packages on this show. where he gets like independent comics from some fantastic creators, many of my friends. And also, he gets deliveries of brand new comics. I believe this is the week that Diamond is pretty much back up to speed, supposedly. Diamond Distributing, who handles direct sales for many of the major publishers around the country. Well, anyway, he's starting to get his supplies in again, and you should be able to contact him to, if you see something in one of his unpackaging videos, he could put it aside for you. Plus, he does mail order, and he sends things out like bam. He is right on top of this stuff. So anyway, Rodney, again, congratulations. And I think I speak for a lot of people that say we appreciate what you did to help Sean D. Hilton out. All right. And we hope the blessings return to you tenfold. And Russell Allen, there we go. Russ Explode on Facebook. There we go. That's how you do it, Russell. Well done, young man. Well done. All right. And check that out tonight. Okay. And Paul S. Ruff says Friday, May 22nd. He will be doing a live news show starting this Friday on his YouTube channel. Please check it out. And also, when you go to his channel, plus any of the YouTube channels on YouTube, duh, Brian, including mine, especially mine. So anyway, please, when you go there, please take the time to subscribe to that page. Hit that bell for further notices so you can be alerted to new content. Also, give a video a like, because I'm not looking for monetization right now. Now, what I would like is in the next, 10, 11 days, whatever, before the end of the month, I would like to get, I think I'm up to around 40 subscribers right now, because we've really only started pushing this like the last couple of weeks. But I would like to get to 100 subscribers by the end of May. All right. And what the reason why is, like I said, we are going to be starting a series of educational videos on promotion, on writing, on publishing, on editing, on art direction. We're going to take our experience. And while I can't exactly make you a New York Times bestseller, I can't make you the next Stephen King or J.K. Rowling or James Patterson, I can at least bring you up to Brian K. Morris level. If you listen to what I say and follow my advice and try not to make the mistakes I've made, and yes, I've made quite a few. And I have to say, I was I've been approached a lot lately for people's insist, and I love it when people use my show to promote. I really do. But like I've had people that are totally unaware of the format. That like want me to interview them on the show, which I understand. And I don't mind if we have like an interview like this, but this format works. This format works. People tell me they like it. All right. And clever title pending is something else, but and I gotta say, clever title pending, I'm so amazed with the response to it under the new format of the interviews. And we've got a list of people who we're trying to schedule to fill in the weeks. And we're going to be kept rather busy, I'm glad to say. So anyway, but there are some people who just, happen by and just see that I'm doing this show and figure, well, he won't mind dropping everything for me. And it's like, get familiar with the format, get familiar with what we do now. Like you guys this morning, Russell Allen, perfect, man. That's perfect. You know what I do, and you're here, and you're my friend, and I love it. But like, I've been approached by people who I had to look when I friended them, and it's been years, never had any interaction with them. And then all of a sudden they've got something they want to sell people, and they want to do it their way on my show. And it's like, we're not QVC, not yet. Anyway, but anyway, there's a wide way to promote. Russell, Rodney, Michaela, y'all are doing it great, all right? And the other people just don't seem to get on. Imagine that. Anyway, Michaela Jade, yes, you can call your local Barnes & Noble to get her book or request it at your local library. And, that's the thing. A lot of people, if they're going through Ingram Spark, which we plan to do for Rising Tide Publications with our next publication, our next book, which will be either Aquatic, Love Above the Waves, or Doc Saga, subtitled Yet to Be Created. But anyway, the thing is, You can order a lot of books. In fact, it does help an author if you go to your public library and say, "I'm really looking for this one specific book." A Warrior's Secret by Michaela Jade. Could you snag a copy of that? And then, because I was doing this for a friend of mine a few years ago who written a series of murder mysteries, and we were checking out her book every month. It came to our local library, we requested it, and they got a copy. And then once a month we'd go into the library and check out the book, which helps their little algorithms. A lot of this is algorithm based. But anyway, seriously, check out Michaela's work. Check out Michaela. She's awesome. And also go to your local bookstore and ask for your favorite. If you see somebody on here whose work you're interested in, go to your public library and say, "Hey, listen, could you get Volcana, Rebirth of the Champion by Brian K. Morris, or Warrior's Secret by Michaela Jade?" And then check it out, and then get your friends to check it out. This helps all of us, okay? And that way you get to read us for free. Ken Keller, happy Camel Humpback Day indeed. That's right. Oh, man, the camel might go for 3 days without water. Brian can't go 3 hours without kefefe. That's the thing. Earlier this week, for some, this is, I will say that this can be a little tiring, constantly being on the air. And I'm doing a lot more broadcasting. I estimate that on some weeks I'm doing about 20 hours of broadcasting a week. So I'm not used to that. So, in my advanced age, but the thing is, we are having to moderate ourselves, because I realized, like, I did the math, and I've been doing, like I said, I've been doing about 20 hours of broadcasting a week, but I get to promote Ken Keller. I get to promote you guys. I love that. That makes me happy. It's a good thing. And the real John Davey has just joined us. Mr. Davey, glad to have you here, John. Hope you're having a fantastic day so far. John Davey, it's okay to start fanboying people and fangirling. Back in the 70s, there was a fantastic Saturday morning cartoon show, or not cartoon, I should say, but a live action Captain Marvel, original Captain Marvel, not Brie Larson, but Shazam. And John Davies played Captain Marvel on that show with Michael Gray and Les Tremaine. Yes, I'm a fan. And he and I are now Facebook friends, and it's a pleasure to have you here. And John, if you have anything going, or you just want to make a comment, please put that in the comments, and we'll read it out loud. You and I can have a conversation here. I think that would be fun. Anyway, Tracy Rosa, love you, man. Thanks for sharing, Brian. Tracy, love you right back, brother. And I hope you have a great day. And and also when you go to your public library, ask for some of Tracy Rosa's books too. We gotta get our books in the local library here. We really do. And Michaela Jane says, hashtag we love you, Brian. Michaela, I love you too. Seriously. And I love the whole lot of you. And I may complain sometimes. I may kvetch a little, but I do love doing this. I do love talking to you all. And believe me, you think I make your morning, you give me some place to go where maybe I won't get in trouble. The odds are bad, but anyway. Anyway, love you too, hon. Can't wait till we get over the social distancing nonsense. And 6 days and 1 hour for that Kickstarter campaign. Eric Hawkins has just crossed the $3,500 line. Am I behind on that, Eric? What's your current total? I'm gonna refresh that page and hope it doesn't send nuclear missiles onto Sweden or anything. But anyway, yeah, check out that Kickstarter. It is the Zombiful World of Oz, one of the best comic titles I've read in ages, seriously. And I already got the job as editor, so I don't have to be nice anymore to Eric. No, seriously. But seriously, it is a fantastic title. The idea is Dorothy Gale has just left the sanitarium, cured of the notions of emerald cities and yellow brick roads. However, when the zombies attack and she's rescued by a scarecrow, a lion, and a tin man, she may have to rethink what the doctors told her. Anyway, that second issue is available right now, will be available through a Kickstarter campaign. And also there will be a Indiegogo campaign. If you're not a fan of Kickstarter, we get it. Anyway, Eric's putting together a fantastic book, and whereas a lot of books now especially in the independent field, are like 17 to 20 pages, maybe 23 or 24. Eric is providing 44 pages of comic book goodness. All right. And 4 of those pages, this many, I remember my math, this many pages written by me. It's a little creepy story about what Dorothy had to get through to be cured of her delusions. Pardon me. And I'm looking forward to that being out. And Eric has got all kinds of great stretch goals. That he's got 5 stretch goals, 3 of which have been unlocked. One of them was my story. Another one is like a special button you can get. He's also got like metallic bookmarks. He's going. The next goal is like less than $500 away. And Nevermorians, I'm calling on you to help. All right, please. You're always so good. You're always so helpful. Anyway, that book. The next goal is, I believe it's a collectible trading card, but it's made with metal, emerald metal. I really want to get one of those, and so please. But there are various rewards for supporting this book. Please check out that link. Check out Eric's book, and I'm telling you, it's going to be great. I am putting what little reputation I've got on the line for this one. Carl Westman, I could see more clever title pending live if it were earlier. We are, okay, I will reveal it right here. We are looking at moving that show to 4 o'clock in the afternoon to be part of the OnCon channel. Rob Anderson and Luke Stone and Meredith Logren and I were talking about that yesterday. And there's a whole bunch of other things that are coming up. But if anyone else would support, or even watch the show afterwards, that would be great. And it might potentially limit some of the guests we can get, but we'll see what happens. But anyway, that's one of the things. And we might be moving the day to Thursday because it really, it would be easier on me for one thing. Plus there's a whole bunch of logistical things going on, and but it's one of those things where we'll be announcing more of this stuff in connection with the OnCon networks. But anyway, yeah, I think it would be a good move, to be honest. I really do. And broadcasting a show during work hours doesn't seem to hurt. Our show does pretty well, although YouTube as of late has been kind of suppressing our signal, not getting out there. So if you have a chance to subscribe to this show, please do. It would mean a lot to me. And it also encourages me to see your smiling faces here, or I imagine they're smiling. And I'm getting another issue. So anyway, sometimes you can get a notification to receive notifications that we are on. Although I'm pretty good about showing up. I only missed 3 episodes because I was deathly ill last November. In 4 years, those are the only episodes I've missed. Thank you eternally to Rob Anderson for taking over. And even then, I still made one of them. I created a watch party for old episodes. Oh, dear God, was that uncomfortable. That was not my favorite episode. I was sitting in bed thinking, oh, angel of death, where is thy embrace? I mean, I had evacuated everything moist from my body, and that's as graphic as I'll get, folks. In the previous, during the rest of that week, and I'm lying in bed wishing for death, and I'm watching my first official episodes of Nevermind the Furthermore, and oh Lord, the suffering I had undergone the previous 4 days were nothing compared to the next 90 minutes. It's like, this is humiliating. Oh man. It's like, if this doesn't destroy my what little reputation I may have, that nothing will. So I was like, it was not my best hour. And I always kept joking that we would have like a Mystery Science Theater 3000 moment with early episodes. And everyone was having fun poking fun at me, but I'm sitting here going, oh my God, how can you people laugh? This is horrible. This is not Ed Wood. This is Deadwood. This is terrible stuff. Carl Witzman said, I had a weird dream last night that some woman at a convention came up to me and recognized me from Facebook. I was a little struck by dream imposter syndrome then. Wow. That's one to study there. That's interesting, Carl. Oh, I got imposter syndrome really badly last year at BurgCon in Harrisburg, Illinois. And it was funny because it was at a panel where I was up there with Kathy Jackson and Amy Hale, and we were taking a lot of questions from the audience, including that's where we met Rick Bradley. And we were taking questions from the audience, and one man in particular was asking a lot of really specific questions. And he said, "I'm sorry if we're, bombarding you with questions, but we don't get celebrities here very often." And Kathy and Amy and I are looking at each other like, "Is he talking about you? He must be talking about you two, because I can't be included in that demographic." And afterwards, we're all three like, you two, right? It's like, no, it's got to be you two. It was like a clinic for imposter syndrome, which is why I think it needs to be discussed in the open. Brian Rhodes, that is, posted a let me try it again, Brian. Take two. Brian Rhodes posted a new no good blog this morning. After 9 weeks in quarantine, I finally established a morning routine, and now that it's working, I'm getting pushy about it. Don't worry, I threw in some jokes so it doesn't get too boring. And that's at the no good blog /antivirus week 9 routine maintenance. Oh, wow. I'm going to read that, Brian. That sounds fun. Yeah, isn't it amazing? Has it only been 9 weeks? I swear, Rob Anderson says he's been broadcasting for 70 days, and I believe it. And I don't think I started daily too long after him. I don't think I beat him to it by any stretch, but I'm pretty sure I was right at his heels with this daily broadcasting thing. And if you think it doesn't wear a person down, au contraire, mon ami, it can be a struggle some days more than others. I can't say I'm burning out. I really am not burning out on this, but it does get tiring and distracting. But anyway, check out the No Good blog, because it is a really good blog by Brian Rhodes, who's also an exceptional artist and has some really cool comics like Mike and the Ninja, as well as Six Legs, No Heart. I love that book, and I wish for a sequel desperately. 6 more legs and no more heart, that sort of thing. Here we go. Bill Sarton says, keep Clever Title pending show Tuesday at 7 p.m. Central, 8 p.m. Eastern. It's a good primetime slot, and I love how it's evolved into a creator interview show. I feel that all of the above mentioned has given the show its own identity separate from Nevermind the Furthermore. Thank you, Bill. Thank you for noticing that. And, the thing is, Clever Title pending was kind of my original intent for it was to be a discussion of the business of creativity, and most of the time it has been, but we do what the audience wants, because that's why this show works. I don't come in with an agenda anymore, things we've got to talk about. I rarely do that anymore. I would rather you guys guide the conversation, and I think it works. I really think it works. That's what makes the show as good as it is. And it's not because of me, honestly. Maybe it's imposter syndrome again, but I honestly think it's you guys, not me. I'm just a facilitator. But I love how Clever Title pending just finally found its voice. And that's how I look at it, because it was almost most of the time, Nevermind the Furthermore light, as far as I was concerned. And I'm not ashamed of any of those shows. In fact, I think some shows were better than others. But the ones once we settled into this, the ones I liked the best were the ones like the one we had with Rick Bradley, where he came on and he was the guest, but he interviewed you guys trying to find information that would lead him to a writing career. And I think it worked. And we had a couple other shows, but once we hit the interview thing, and everyone loved it. I got so many compliments on it, and so did our guests. and haven't had a single guest tell me yet, Brian, don't you ever call me again. I will kill you if it's the last thing I do. Everyone's been really enthusiastic and supportive and willing to come on and willing to come back. That's even cooler. So yeah, expect more clever title pending, and we've got one vote for keep it where it is and one vote for move the dang thing. So let's get back to your comments here because I'm and I recognize I am about 14 minutes behind. So hold on to your naughties, everyone. And there he is, the man of that 1 hour, or actually more like 90 minutes, Rick Bradley. Good morning to you, brother. Hope you're having a great morning. Thank you, Teresa, says Charles F. Millhouse and Rick Bradley. It was a great show last night. Thank you, Rick. I appreciate it. And you never know, I may call you back one of these days we ought to do that. We ought to have a follow-up with you. See, we had you once, but down the road, let's get another publication under your belt, Doc Saga, and then we let's take a mid-course assessment of where you're at in your career. All right, Rick Bradley says, come and check out. Okay, here we go. Come and check out Rick Bradley's author page at rbradley42. I hope to see you there, and so does Rick. Rick posts some funny things and updates to his upcoming projects. That's rbradley42 on Facebook. All right. And there we go. And Charles F. Millhouse, I had a blast last night, Rick, and I had a blast hosting. And it's one of those things. It's not like I do an enormous amount of pre-work on the show. Because I can rely on you Nevermorians to come on there and have some terrific questions. I think Charles and Cindy would agree. You guys had some real challenging questions. And Midland, there we go. Yeah, that's it. Ted Davies, Midland, 9 feet of water, not inches. Well, 9 inches is still 9 inches is still pretty good to a lot of people. So anyway, 9 feet. Oh, that hurt. Anyway, so yeah, Midland. That's the one I was thinking of, and I got the measurement wrong. And so yeah, our prayers and thoughts to the people of Midland. That is, oh man. Just when this thing can't become more of a disaster, it does. Bill Sarn says, question for you, Brian. Yes, Bill, I live to answer your questions. Does the new smaller comments that you're showing this morning done to be able to show more of the comment? I only ask because I'm finding them more difficult to read this morning. Well, Bill, that's why I read them to you. It's like story time with Brian, but every day. But no, seriously. It is actually to make them so you can see, more of me. My bloated ego demands it. But yeah, and this is just an experiment. We might go back to the others, or we might switch back and forth between the two. But one thing I will say that brings up a good thing. Now, we've had a number of people who have written essays and posted them. And I'm not singling out anyone in particular, just you, Bill. No, seriously. Here's a tip. It's something I thought of. And Bill writes great copy. I love reading his copy, and I love reading Rick's copy. But having to fill up the screen is one thing. But what if you were to split that up into smaller ones? And then, like you do stuff different every day. Here's Marketing 101. You do different stuff every day. But what if you were to take like part of the benefits of the artwork of Bill Sarn at Sarn Art 76 and say, tell me about part of it in one post that I read and you can record, and then you come back a few minutes later with the other half of your message. Like, say you talk up the watch parties and the sketches, and then the next one come back in about 20 minutes with more on the thing with that great slogan where everything old is new again, and talk about different aspects of it. See what I'm saying? Break it up and make me mention you more often. And, like you vary the thing. And that's a tip for anyone who wants to promote on the show and really make it vibrant. Okay. So I'm going to teach you guys how to promote. I've had some people contact me in the last couple of weeks who are just absolutely acluistic about promotion, and I think it's part of my mission to teach how to maybe make it more effective. So Bill, I'm just saying. But anyway, the smaller comments, and I also, Bill, here's another aspect. A lot of people just put me on in the background and don't watch me. They actually just listen to the show. So I'm not sure that the size of the comments, like many things, size may not matter here, but your criticism is taken, and we may go back to it. This is kind of an experiment today. And Rick Bradley has his website at authorrickbradley.com, and he'll be starting a newsletter this very month. So sign up today and keep tabs on him because someone needs to. Okay, there's his. Anyway, Ted Davies' Retrieve Books 1 and 2 are available digitally. $3 for the combo this week only, and print books are $5 each plus shipping. So send him a Facebook Messenger message for details. And honestly, I've read both of them, and I've read his other amazing book, Albino Zulu. Check out the work of Ted Davies and see if he'll send. I bet he'll send you all of them. He's good like that. You check it out. In fact, check out all the links that you see here on this show, because a lot of you are doing some really cool things, and I want to see you guys and gals get the attention you deserve. And hopefully not in a legal way. So anyway, Rochelle Lester, glad to see you here. Hope you're having a great morning. And Gary Butner, Gary, how you doing, brother? Good to see you, man. Harley Slavic is watching. Glad to have you as always. And Amy Hale, and don't forget tomorrow night, 7 p.m. on Amy Hale's Angels. She's going to have a live show like this, except it's going to be funny. And Darren Morgan, glad to see you, sir. And John B. Pica, glad you're here, sir. Hope you're feeling better today. And Meredith Logren, my angel, I hope you're doing well. And Kat Rothermill, to you. Hey, Kat. Huh? How's that, huh? Anyway, representing. And here we go. Let's get that. There we go. Rodney Fike says, hey, he's doing a live sale with Sean again on Friday night. Oh, cool. Very cool, Rodney. Glad to see that. Is there a chance you'll get to the Kokomo Con? Is that in your agenda? Should we all make it to October and get out of our houses? Inquiring minds want to know. And Sarah says, my book keeps showing up in the headlines after I write it. Methinks I need to write something else for a while. Jumanji movie going on with writing. Facepalm. Okay. Anyway. So you're kind of getting those little windows confused, are you, Sarah? Welcome to my world. Carl Witzman says, Sarah, maybe you can see the future. Ooh. Oh my goodness. How cool is that? I'm going down to the racetrack and I'll call you in an hour. And John B. Pica, good morning, Multiverse Citizen Pica. It is glorious to have you here once again. Hope you are having a great morning so far. And Sarah's beginning to wonder. There's a lot about this show that people are beginning to wonder about, but we're glad you're a part of it. And Bill Sarn says, supposedly Illinois is going to move into stage 3 of 5, where there is going to be some partial reopening of non-essential businesses. I'm not sure if places like Hobby Lobby or Barnes & Noble fall in this category. I certainly hope they do. Yeah, it's... I know that in Indiana that some places like those are opening up, that, they're kind of going through the... degrees of essentiality, I guess it would be. Indiana's not had as bad a time as Illinois, although I did do a little bit of deep diving yesterday, and I see that Illinois has 2 counties, at least as of yesterday, with no reported cases of the Myshorona and Miley Cyrus. And I think that's admirable. In fact, I read an article yesterday online about some communities who and it's especially, I'm noticing this in Illinois, are kind of resenting being lumped in with other communities as far as the progress towards normalization of activities, particularly places that are more isolated, that it's harder to get to. I was reading something about, I think of someplace in Kentucky or Tennessee had written to the governor saying, we are surrounded by mountains. We are surrounded by forests. And to get here, you almost have to want to. You have to know about us, and we're not big. We're just a couple hundred people. And why are we on total lockdown along with a community who might be in our county who, is probably a hotbed of C19 infections, which I get. I totally get that. And I'm seeing that I saw that some people in Illinois were saying the same thing. And Illinois does seem a little bit more draconian than, say, Indiana. So, I'm hoping it does. Although I do know that some of the businesses like that, for instance, some places are like appointment only, some smaller businesses like optometrists and all, while larger shopping facilities have to limit the number of people that enter based on the square footage of the sales floor, the available sales floor. I think in Indiana, I may be wrong, but it's something like 25 people per 1,000 square feet. I think I'm probably way off on that, but anyway, we have an agenda, and anything though, Bill. I saw that, and I know it's going to be debated today that some places in Illinois are, the local law enforcement is saying we're not going to enforce Governor Pritzker's edicts because we don't believe in them, and Pritzker is looking for some way to retaliate against them legally. I think there's going to be some sort of conversation about it in your state house in Springfield. And I'm keeping my eye on that because I may have to visit Illinois real soon, or I will have to visit Illinois real soon. I want to know what's going on. Anyway, so yeah, let's hope for Illinois. Let's hope for all of us we move to that third stage real soon. Russell Allen says, I would also like to take the time to call out a project of some friends of mine. Please do. We love seeing that. And we don't see enough of it. Check out the Kickstarter for Necroman, Jason Mark Scholl, and that's a Kickstarter. Check it out. All right. That's what I love to see. I love to see you guys and gals promoting other people too, because there's a lot of people that just don't know how to promote. And if anything, we love seeing people promote themselves because sometimes even bad promotion's better than no promotion at all. Russell, thank you very much for sharing that. I appreciate that, man. And John B. Pica, it's New Comic Book Day, and Diamond ship new books. There are new comics again. Well, there are plenty of new comics on Comixology, John. Anyway, no, which is basically Marvel and DC saying F you to some of the cranky retailers. But no, it's seriously. I'm glad to see that returning to normal, mostly because I want to see the comic shop survive. They've taken a hit. I will also say that as a former comics retailer myself, I despise lazy retailers. I really do. They annoy the out of me. Because too many retailers back in the 80s and 90s had this almost an entitlement mentality of I just opened the comic shop. You must support me. It's kind of like saying you need to love me, but I've done nothing to earn that love, sort of thing. And I remember there was a gaming show a shop rather, that over the one of a letter, that in our local community back in Illinois, his business, basically the guy was antisocial, and he opened a gaming business, and he did well because he was basically the only game in town. Well, then another shop opened, and this guy got on social media at the time and was openly complaining, said, well, you people are not giving me enough business, and you owe it to me to keep me open. 6 months later, he was closed. You build community, you build a following, just like social media. That's what it's for. My Nevermorians, I love you guys. I shouldn't even say mine. I belong to you. And I saw a number of people complaining, a number of shop owners, that the minute they, Diamond, said they weren't going to pay people for shipments for a while, a lot of them closed their doors and said, okay, I'm out of here. I'm going to find something else to do. And a number of them I see on social media saying, oh, you've got to support me. And it's like, you compare that to say, like comics, my shop here in Lafayette, Blue Moon. They were starting to tell people, hey, listen, we can't open our doors, but go to Comic Collectors Live. We've got a page there. Check out our back issues. They were doing that. You had, and of course, Comics Cubed and Kokomo. They, within 24 hours, they're saying, okay, here's what we're going to do to keep serving our community. And that's what I love seeing. That's what a comic shop should do. It should create a community. And, I love it. The new comics are being shipped again. And I hope that this teaches some retailers a lesson on what it takes to stay in business. And I hope Diamond learns a thing or two, that they could very well not be the only fish in the sea. Speaking of interviews, Brian says, Charles F. Millhouse, I host Indie Showcase. Yes, he does. A show spotlighting writers and artists. If any creator would like to be on the show, send him a message via Facebook Messenger, and he will put you on his list. And it's like Santa Claus. He's got a nice list and a naughty list. I'm on the naughty list, but I still got on. Anyway, he does a great job interviewing, and he's a fun guy to talk to. So please, creators, check it out. Check out that show. Check out, and that's one thing. Check out, see if you're a fit for it. And talk to Charles, interact with him, make him your friend. Anyway, Carl Wisman says, Warrior Secret is good. I am only halfway through, and I like it. I wish I had more time to read it all at once. My reading lately has been pretty abysmal, so I get that. Eric Hawkins says, today is apparently National Be a Millionaire Day. Looks like I am missing out. Yeah, I wouldn't have known about it if you hadn't said something, Eric. I'm way behind the curve there. Bill Sarton says, Brian, it'd be great for you to interview the real John Davey on Clever Title Pending some Tuesday night. I'd be all in on that. I wouldn't mind doing that. John Davey, if you're listening and you would be willing to come on my show some Tuesday night, we'll talk Captain Marvel all night long. I'm telling you. But anyway, that'd be cool. That'd be cool. And if you know somebody who might like to be on the show, have them talk to me. Eric Hawkins, metal trading card is already unlocked. Next goal is an extra standard trading card. Coolness. All right, so let's get him to $4,000 if not on his Kickstarter, then the Indiegogo. And Rick Bradley says, are you wanting to read a bunch of great scary stories? Then you need to check out his first published work, The Marble, in the horror anthology, The Nightmare Collective. You can pick that up in paperback or digital form on Amazon.com. Along with 7 other amazing authors, Rick Bradley and his friends will take your mind off this crazy real world stuff and make you fear again. Isn't that great? Anyway, check out that book. It is a really good book. I've got a story in there, and I'm pretty pleased with it. It turned out well. And Eric Hawkins, I keep hovering around the same backer amount. Got a new backer, have one back out, but all is good. Sometimes people got to back out. Yeah, life happens, right? I'm curious to see how the last days play out. There are 176 people following the project and have set up a reminder for it. Very good, very good. And that's what you got to do. You got to treat your crowdfunding like it's a job, because it can often be a chore. So I hear you, Eric. I'm pulling for you, man. And that's the thing. When somebody pulls out, it's a bad thing. From your crowdfunding campaign, Sarah. It can be a letdown. And Eric and I had, Eric can vouch, it can be an emotional roller coaster, especially when you see someone back out. I think we only had 2 people back out on Spencer Spook, and one was a friend of mine, but he was also a mess. And he had gotten himself in a bad situation, and I understood. The other one we've discussed on this show before. But anyway, please support that. All right, please. I really think that's a great comic book, and I think you're really going to enjoy it. Plus, it's issue 2, but Eric also provides a way for you to get issue 1. So check it out, please, on Kickstarter. There's about a week left on that project, and we want to see that go shooting way over the top. Rick Bradley also has started up some RPG lists along with Dave Woodrum at Fishwife Publications on Drive-Thru RPG. Check out Rick Bradley's first 2 100 random generated lists. Check them out. It's a great tool for writers, FYI. And let's see, hold on, just shot past a whole bunch of stuff. And I know I'm way behind. I'm going to try to catch up, okay? So we may wind up skipping some people, unfortunately. Rick Riley says, Brian, your first shows were great. A great warning for all of us wanting to start one up. Yeah, don't do it. Don't do it. It'll take over your life, I tell you. No, actually, I think this is actually a good platform. I think more writers ought to consider it. Seriously, it has not hurt my sales any one bit. Charles F. Millhouse, I agree with Bill Sarton. The show works well on Tuesday evenings. Okay, duly noted. The Tuesday evening crowd is winning right now. Darren Morgan of Moonlight Films. Mwah, I love you, Darren. Hey, everybody, go to YouTube and check out Moonlight Films. Also, like us here on Facebook. Yes, Moonlight Films. Great place, great company, rather, that makes some really fun, scary movies out of Linton, Indiana. the gateway to Vincennes, and I'm in a couple of them. Check out Cemetery Tales and The Legend of Demoniac. You will see me on there and demand that they make me a star. Anyway, good to talk to you, Darren. Hope everybody's doing well down there. Rick Bradley says, I loved asking everyone questions and love being on there answering questions. I'll do it anytime you need me to. Well, sir, consider yourself pressed into action again, sir, soon. And good morning to you, Amy Hale. Mwah, glad to see you here. Harley Slavic says, greeting, hope all is well. Check out our latest YouTube video. If you like what you see and want any of the books for yourself, then contact Harley at harleyslavic@gmail.com. All right, good to have you here, sir. And Carl Wisman Bryan said 9 inches, Sarah. I did. And Harley Slavic says, keep Clever Title Pending where it is. Okay, yeah, and the one thing is, it's like Clever Title Pending is turning not to be a super promotional show for the audience. I will say that because I do want to give more love to the people who are on. It is an opportunity for them as well. And it's not to say you can't put your links in, but don't be surprised if I don't read everything, because we do fall way behind on that show, and I think that show is a little more important to keep up to the moment. Wow, 9 feet in May 2010, says John B. Pica. Nashville was 12 feet underwater. It was devastating. Hearts go out to Midland. Yeah, seriously. And I'm having flashbacks to like New Orleans and Hurricane Katrina. I mean, a lot of New Orleans was sincerely underwater because some of it actually was built into the earth, part of New Orleans. And there are parts of New Orleans that are actually under sea level. And thanks to Katrina, they were definitely under sea level. Rick Bradley says, I like having Clever Title Pending on Tuesdays. Okay, we're a runaway on Tuesdays. Harley Slavic says, I dread today because I have to file sales tax. It's what us grown-ups have to do, Harley, I'm sorry, but it could be worse. Amy Hale, sorry I missed last night. I wasn't feeling well and went to bed early. Oh, hon, I'm sorry. I hope you're feeling better today, and I hope you're feeling well enough tomorrow to entertain your loyal fans on Amy Hale's Angels on Facebook at 7 p.m. Central, 8 p.m. Eastern Time. All right. John B. Pica says, comic creators, I am ready to add dialogue bubbles and captions to the League of Impossibilist comic series. I need a good program that I can upload the pages and easily add the dialogue. I'm struggling with Photoshop recommendations. Oh, I'm going to leave this open for you guys. I'm trying to think of one. I did have one, but it's not supported anymore, so I can't in good conscience recommend it to you. And there was one that Cookie got. Well, you might try. Well, it's called GIMP, GIMP. And it is a free program. You could try that if you've got everything set up. The only problem with GIMP is you can't really letter in that. It's hard to letter in that because they offer a limited palette. Well, at least I found lettering with that very, very difficult. GIMP, and I'm trying to think. Cookie just recently picked up another one. It's not Audacity. I think it begins with an A. I'll try to find it for you, John, if you'll remind me. But it is very much like Photoshop. But anyway, I open it up to all of you. If any of you who do computer lettering, like Eric Hawkins, can recommend a Photoshop alternative, John B. Pica would be grateful. And Bill Sarton says, I'm temporarily foregoing my usual quasi ad copy because I have so much to say about the far out festivities at the art of Bill Sarton. The artwork of Bill Sarton. Excuse me, let me start that again. Bill Sarton is temporarily foregoing his usually quasi ad copy because he has so much to say about the far out festivities at the artwork of Bill Sarton. Tonight he's hosting a Wild West Wednesday watch party with classic Western series like The Lone Ranger, Gene Autry Show, The Cisco Kid, and Bonanza. So click on Sarton Art 76 to join in on the fun. That does sound like a hoot. I love a good Western. I grew up with those things, and I wasn't real a fan of them at the time, except for a couple, and now I really love them. I really do. But that's great, Bill. And be sure to promote something else later. Good man. All right, we're gonna make this work. And Brian says, Harley Slavic, I would love to do a show with you about running a business with disabilities and limitations. That's one of the things on my list. I think it might show people that you can still have a business even with limitations. Well, that would be great. Harley, I'll put you on the list. Thank you, sir. Well, last night, Cindy Kemp also talked about being a writer with impairments, shall we say, and how she works to overcome them. So please, we'll put Harley on the list of possibles. And also, please check out Clever Title Pending from last night. It was a really good show. We're really proud of it. Meredith Logren goes, she says in her own eloquent voice, "Good morning, Nevermorians. Is it sleeping in if I went to bed at 5 this morning?" Ooh, good stuff. Clever Title Pending with Brian interviewing Teresa Dunn and Rick Bradley is up on iHeartRadio. And there is that link. Thank you so much, Meredith. Rick and Teresa, did you hear that? iHeartRadio. That ain't peanuts, people. And gosh, we mentioned your books several times and where to find them, did we not? Thank you, Meredith. I love you. Anyway, and thank you for the talk last night. And check out my page on YouTube and tell me if I did okay. We did a little revamping on our homepage on YouTube. And again, please, when you go to YouTube and check out Camouflage 61821, we would love it if you subscribe, because when I get to 100 people, I'm told I get a specific URL to that page and it'll be easier to find. So please check it out. And we got my girl Kat Rothermel. Good morning, magnificent Morris monsters. I missed you. I had to put away one classroom and start packing up another. And what do I spy with my little eye? Yeah, you do. Thanks, Brian. Thank you, Kat. I told you I would. And we're going to make sure it has a permanent place up there. I couldn't find my poster tag. I've got almost a full package of poster tags somewhere around here, and I can't find that stuff to save my life. So I did the next best thing. I squeezed it in my what will be eventually my advertising frame there. So thank you, Kat, for that. I really love it. I love the stickers you sent me, and I love you. All right, you are truly the rock and roll art goddess for all you do. Nick Tucker says, sorry about my long-windedness. So in brevity, 2 questions for you, the Peanut Gallery. Where do you host your personal page, and what price point do you find works best for your sales? I want to open that up to everyone. As soon as I say, hello, everybody, from Cindy Cap, mwah, who was a star last night on the Star, along with Charles F. Millhouse on Clever Title Pending last night. Please, whether you go to YouTube, which I recommend for the best quality broadcast, or to my private or my personal page here on Facebook, or to Rising Tide publications page, or on Cindy's page, or Charles' page, or on the Charles F. Millhouse. We're everywhere. We're stinking everywhere. And anyway, Cindy Camp was awesome last night. So was Charles. And it was a great conversation. Had a fantastic time. And we're getting back to you, Nick. I think you deserve a little more attention than what we can give you at the moment. And I made it to Brian's Wall of Fame. Woohoo! You have arrived, young lady. You have arrived, girlfriend. Anyway, where I host my personal page. If you're talking about web page, mine is done through Wix. And here's a tip for all of you. Don't go to some place that'll charge you $60 to sell you a domain name. Do a search for Google domains. Risingtide.pub, I got it for $6. Okay. They have great prices, and you can tie that address into your wherever you have the website hosting. My website is hosted through Wix, Wix.com. I like them because they have many templates you can use, and it is pretty much plug and play. The learning curve on putting together a page is not as steep on Wix as it would be on, say, WordPress. WordPress can be a lot more robust and a lot more fine-tunable, but again, that learning curve, if you want to get something up fast that you can fix later, I do recommend Wix. Otherwise, get Google domain and just set up a page here on Facebook. That's what a lot of businesses do now. And price point works best for my sales. I like having a variety of products that are on different price scales. I do have kind of like a max of $20 to $25 on my stuff, depending on the production expense. Nick, this might be a conversation you and I might take offline. Okay, we'll talk about offline. I'll tell you some of my secrets. nuts. Okay. And Harley Slavic, good job with the show last night. Thank you, Harley. I appreciate that, man. Thank you so very much. Cindy Cap says, Animal Eye escaped this morning. Beware! And is looking for good homes. Follow the game-lit adventures of a sassy crow named Ava and powerful mountain shepherd named Nagid as they help their humans put an end to the production of maniacal killers who can't be killed by normal means. Check it out on Amazon. That sounds so good. In fact, talking to Cindy last night, I've got to get a library of her work. Now I've got to get the time to read all that stuff. But anyway, Cindy's very imaginative. She's working on a Doc Saga story that will be in print later this year. I'm excited about that. John B. Pica, for the latest C19 conspiracy theories, just visit my profile. Oh, John, you might as well wave the red flag. You said conspiracy theories. I like that. Brian likes conspiracy theories. So anyway, I want to leave right now and go look at them. Anyway, Cindy Cap, Iowa, even in the big cities, is opening up far too fast, in your opinion. Indiana is not. And I will say, yesterday I went to Walmart to pick up a couple of things, and I was greatly relieved to see how many people were wearing masks. Holy crap. I went 2 weeks ago into Walmart, and it was frightening. I mean, I probably laid eyes on about at least 100 people in there, and of those people, I would say I probably saw slightly over a dozen wearing some sort of face covering. Some people had scarves, and it's better than nothing. Some people had homemade things, like homemade masks like I do and Cookie does. But the majority of people were walking around, just casually walking by people, and not observing social distancing, and not wearing any facial protection or any sort of sneeze guard or anything. It was just really frightening. And I am hearing about places in Illinois, or Michigan, where they're having, I think just about every state in the union is having protests right now. We got to open up right now. We don't care if people die. I've got to make some money. Read between the lines, grubby. Anyway, so yeah, I agree, Cindy. Especially in the big cities, I think they're opening up way too soon. And I almost wish that they had, gone along with the idea that I had heard early on, have a total shutdown. Just essential services, even if it meant martial law. Someplace like a New York City, for instance, but just close it down. Non-essential travel is forbidden, and for 30 days we stop. Okay. And we would still have to give stimulus and still provide access to unemployment money. But the thing is, we also might have stopped a lot of this in its tracks. And when we have people in the government making irresponsible statements about, oh, it's okay if we have 2,000 people die a day, at least my stock won't go bad, And I remember that shit around, excuse my language, pardon me for the 7-second delay that didn't work. But that sort of stuff I remember at the one point when it's me, my conscience, and the voting machine. Anyway, Cindy Cap, if you missed yesterday's clever title pending, Brian did a stellar job herding Charles F. Millhouse and me through a gauntlet of questions. Thank you, Cindy. I appreciate you. You guys made it easy. Go check it out on the rerun. Great fun was had by all. I definitely did. I had a super time with both of you last night. Go ahead and drink, Sarah. But anyway, no, I had a fun time. It was just as much fun for me as it was for anybody, and we're gonna do it again, Cindy. You have my word. We are gonna do it again. John B. Pica. Oh, yesterday Gen Con canceled, but they are going virtual. Thoughts, John? I am not terribly surprised that they did fall through. I think we're still going to be hearing of more shows canceling. Now, the thing is, though, the virtual convention, they're starting to, people used to complain, well, there's too many good conventions on the same weekend, and it's like, well, suck it up. It's going to happen. But now we're getting the same thing, but with virtual conventions. There's a lot of noise out there, and there's a lot of people who are like opening Zoom chat rooms, and some are making you pay for the privilege, to have a virtual convention. And I've been at a couple of them, and I've got about 4 or 5 scheduled for the remainder of the year, including one that I'm one of the people helping put it together, kind of, sort of. And but there's a lot of noise, and I think you're gonna, on the weekend, it's like you've got your choice of programming, and there's almost too much. You go to like a large convention, like a Gen Con or like a San Diego Con, and you hear people all the time in the hallways going, "Well, I want to go to this event and this event. They're all both at the same time. There's too much stuff to do." Some complaint, right? But anyway, I'm interested to see what Gen Con does, because we see a lot of the mid-sized conventions doing this, and you also see these people who've basically come out of the woodwork, saying, "Hey, let's try it too." Now, Geek Insider did one that was great. I really loved it. I had a great time, and I did CyberCon. That was a lot of fun. But I'm interested to see what the Wizard Worlds and the Gen Cons do from this point on. That ought to be interesting. Cindy Cap says, after you grab your ebook of Animal Eye, go get these cool books too. And thank you, Cindy. Those are my links to Smashwords. Thank you so much. And she also discovered they're here too on Amazon. Thank you, Cindy. You're the best. You take such good care of me. And for lots of cool books, go to bearpublications.com. That's true. If you watch Clever Title Pending from last night, you will hear Cindy talk about some of those books from Bear Publications. That is very cool. And of course, our cheerleader goes like, "Go, Eric. Go, Eric. Oh, yeah. Getting to 4,000 soon." And Spooky Tingles ASMR, huzzah! Now you get to know about my YouTube channel. Oh, well, secret's out, I suppose. Well, I'm glad you let me in on it, Spooky. Oh, love seeing you. You look beautiful, and I am so pleased to have found your channel. Thank you for finding me. I appreciate it, and can't wait to see you soon. Hope you're having a great day so far. Harley Slavik says, if you want to get your comics distributed by UCS Comic Distributors, contact them via email at info@usccomicdistributors.com to see what you need to do to become one of their vendors. Oh, that's very generous of you. Thank you for that tip. And here we go. And there we go. See, Bill, it got cut off, which is what I was trying to avoid there. And, Patricia Shaw Gossage, mwah, glad you're here. Hope your morning's going well. And Robert Beatty, glad to see you. Let's see. Moving down, Rob Anderson, glad to see you here, sir. Hope you're doing well. Here we go. All right, that's not it. Okay, here we go. Bill Sarden says, I'm going to have to kill this. All right. Sorry, Bill. All right. There we go. Bill Sarden says, it was reported on WGN radio this morning that Illinois has surpassed New York in COVID-19 cases. Yeah, I saw that. 70% of them being in Cook County alone. Yet the governor is going to open that section up with the rest of the state. It's obvious who's greasing his palms. Yeah. People in Illinois are so disgusted with the way that he openly shows that his greater interest in Chicago as opposed to the rest of the state. Every one of his updates have been from Chicago, where it should be in Springfield, where he needs to be. After all, Springfield is the state capital. Enough of my venting. Well, I've done enough of it, Bill. You're entitled to your 5 minutes too. Yeah, I agree. That was the one thing a lot of people had against former Governor Rod Blagojevich, was the fact that early on in his tenure as governor, he rarely visited Springfield. And I think it was like at least 3 to 6 months before he spent any substantial time down there. And I think it was just to go around, shop around Barack Obama's old house seat that he was trying to sell. And even then, Barack Obama fielded a lot of criticism representing his district in Chicago. And he rarely went to Springfield. And when he did, he rarely committed to any he rarely committed to writing any sort of legislation, and 2, he rarely committed to taking a stand on any issue. He just voted present. So yeah, although that didn't come back to bite him, I think because most people outside of Illinois didn't know about this. It's kind of like the perception of people inside Illinois versus outside Illinois who don't know all the deep story behind it. But yeah, and you should be disgusted with that guy. You should be disgusted with the governor, and everyone should be remembering this in when he comes up for re-election, and make him a one-term guy. But it's always been that way, or at least in the last few decades. Chicago is the tail that wags the Illinois dog, and there are like two distinct areas of Chicago, of the state. One is Cook County, which is Chicago and local suburbs, versus the rest of the state. And a lot of the politicians in Illinois in the state level, keep talking about, well, we got to be nicer to the people south of I-80, which runs through the northern quarter of the state. And they do it for a while, just long enough for people to notice, and then they go back to kowtowing to the Chicago politicos and the Chicago machine, which you can't convince me still doesn't exist. And I'm a little disappointed in the Chicago mayor, who is also showing the same sense of personal entitlement that I hope she would not have done for all that she brings to the office, in terms of representation. But instead, she's going out getting haircuts just like the governor and saying, well, I have to because I'm on TV. It's just like I'm remembering some of the celebrities who had to have tests. Your next door neighbor may be unable to breathe and can't figure out why in the early days of the C-19. But Kim Kardashian can get a checkup anytime she wants because she's got money and she's a celebrity. So, Bill, you're welcome to rant away on here. This page is yours for that. Just we don't want name calling is all, because that's beneath us. Let's see. Okay, here we go. All right, I lost where you're at. I'm going to catch up, and I am so sorry that we are so far behind on talk. All right. Wow, I am far behind. I am so sorry, people. This has got to set a record. So we're going to whiz through a lot of these. Speaking of crowdfunding, Patreon/Impossibilist for the work of John B. Pica. Definitely check that out. I got to do that sometime, John. And I'm not going to pull out. I'm going all the way on Kickstarter, says Rick Bradley. That's it. Rick Bradley is going deep and wide on that one. Good man. I need to do that. And Meredith Lawford goes, I think Rob Anderson once mentioned that some people back the Kickstarter campaigns to boost their number as a super supporter, then back out because they're an asswipe. Yeah. Hard times are excluded from assholiness. Yeah, exactly. That's exactly what happened to us. And Meredith, can you answer this? What is, aside from that little flag that you get, what's the purpose of being a super supporter? I mean, this person, we had somebody back out on my campaign substantially, and what they got was I reported them, and they got kicked off of the platform. So, but I'm wondering, otherwise, what's the use of getting that? Amy Hale says tomorrow night on Facebook, author Amy Hale. Join us at 7 p.m. Central, 8 p.m. Eastern for Creative as Hale, where we'll chat with actor and all-around awesome guy, Jose Santiago Jr. He is cool. I love the guy. Bring your questions and comments. That's going to be a good time. I have got to make a point of being there. Cindy kept Tuesday evening show is good. I often can't play in the morning ones. Okay, yeah, the time I'm looking at is 4 p.m. Eastern, 3 p.m. Central. But I recognize it's a different time. We will see what happens. So Harley Slavic. While I distribute products still, we have become more retailer focused to help the business survive. Also, the business is easier for me to manage that way. Well, you do what you got to do, right? And John B. Pica says, I'd love to be a guest to talk about how to use live events and cons to sell your product. Yeah, we want to do marketing stuff. So yeah, I would love to have you, John. We will get through this. We'll have to schedule something. I'm getting so many people. I've got to get that organized. So it's on me, John. But please remind me. I would love to have you on. And Michaela J said, my first and only appearance will be at PenCon in September. Come crazy for you, sweetheart. All right. Looking forward to that. And we got to have PenCon. We got to have PenCon. Carl Witzman, where is PenCon, Michaela? Well, if she doesn't answer, I will. St. Louis. Cindy Cap goes, I'm all out of break time. Catch up to you later. Meantime, go catch Animal Eye on Amazon. Please do. I want to check that out too. Cindy last night made that sound fantastic on Clever Title Pending, so please check it out. John B. Pica says, I tried GIMP, not a fan. Ditto. I'm GIMP illiterate. I really am. So that's why I said, honey, would you do this for me? That's why I go to my wife. Meredith Logren. Oh, did I miss the discussion about possibly moving Clever title pending? I have opinions about that. I welcome your opinions, of course. And Meredith Lachlan, it's true. It's true. And Russell Allen says, also don't miss out on the series Vampires of New Jersey. Get the full series while it lasts on Kickstarter. There's the project link there. Please check it out. Thank you, Russell. And Rob Anderson doing an early Kickstarter pause, but had to drop by for the share. Rob, you are welcome, brother. Glad to have you here. And he's sharing my page. Thank you, Rob. Oh, Rob, I owe you so much. You're so good to me. And there it is also my page on Goodreads. And Paul S. Roof says, yes, Tuesday night is getting awesome. Well, cool. I get so much for my plans, Rob. It sounds like everybody likes it on Tuesday. Everybody likes getting it on Tuesday. So anyway, take a drink. And there we go on my smash words. Sincerely, Rob. Thank you as always for looking out for me as you look out for so many people in the INDEE creative community. Harley Slavic, my business, I no longer classify as strictly a comic shop. Good man, diversify. I now classify it as a collectible store so I can branch out what we carry and keep the business afloat. Cool. Very good, Harley. Way to grow, man. John B. Pica says, Brian Rhodes, if you just need to add lettering and not edit the original art, check out Inkscape, which is a free vector art drawing program. Would be good for adding word balloons and lettering. It will allow you to import your image and then add the lettering on top. Well, Brian's going to write that down. I don't think I've heard of that. Inkscape. All right. Inkscape. Thank you, Brian. Thank you very much. I'll do a search for that later. I appreciate. I like to learn too. So thank you, Brian Rhodes. I appreciate that. Russell Allen says, any question? Hit up Alton Simpson. There we go. Very good. And Meredith Laughlin, well, Rob, people who do that on Kickstarter should have a special place in hell. Oh, it's a shame you don't have any strong opinions about that, hon. Seriously. Anyway. Let's get back to your comments, your great comments here. I'm so far behind. Russell Allen, Google Maintains is awesome. I second that. Got mine for $11. I also use Wix. It's great for web and mobile sites. Yes, it is. And it's easy to use. It's as easy as you're going to find without having to pay somebody. Robert Beatty, hashtag bring Cookie home. Thank you, brother. Thank you so much for that. I appreciate it. She's at work right now, and we are missing her, because she's got work to do. Paul Roof, do you have books, comics coming out? We'll let him know by either a direct message on Facebook or email him at paulsroof@hotmail.com for next week's Indie Creators News. Do you have a Kickstarter startup? Please send him the info, and he'll mention it on the live newscast to his growing audience. So please, everybody who is promoted on the show, also include Paul S. Roof on your mailing list. Get him involved, all right? And the sooner you do it, the better, all right? Don't wait till the last minute. Bill Sarn says, here's another crazy cool condensed announcement. Click on Facebook's Sarnard 76 for all things far out and groovy from yesteryear to help celebrate receiving 800 likes. And thank you, Nevermorians, for your part in that. Bill Sarn will be announcing a super spectacular sketch giveaway contest for one lucky duck. So stay tuned for details on the artwork of Bill Sarton later this week, where everything old is new again. And Charles F. Millhouse, everyone have a productive day. I'm off to get some work done. Well, as soon as I catch up with these comments one of these days, I will too. Charles, again, thank you for last night. And thank you for being my friend. And thank you for all that you do for the creative community, brother. And check out the Charles F. Millhouse Presents page. And check out his latest indie showcase interview with Bobby Nash, the great Bobby Nash. Very cool stuff. Rick Bradley with pedophiles and people who talk during movies. Yeah, I agree. Or use their cell phones in movies. Here we go. Amy Hale says her website is hosted on GoDaddy. I use a lot of resources and bandwidth, so I have a bigger hosting plan. So she pays around $30 a month. Then her domain runs around $15 a year. Oh, okay. Last time I got a domain through them, it cost me like $60, and they billed me twice. And then didn't hook it up properly. So, like my dating years, sometimes I just had to do it myself. Anyway, Harley Slavic says, I use Wix as well. Web.com charges $1,000 just to set up the website. Wow. If you're on a budget, use Wix, not a paid advertisement. I would say nobody would pay for that endorsement. That's for sure, especially Web.com. I've heard that about them. Namecheap is great for buying URLs, says Meredith Logren. GoDaddy tends to lock a URL even when you're searching. It's a way to crowd out the cheaper options like Namecheap. The benefit of GoDaddy is if you're hoping your managed WordPress and one-stop billing. Yeah, that's true, but if you're not lazy, in my opinion, it pays to shop around, and Meredith proved it right there. That is very good. Thank you, Meredith. Harley Slavic says, people are showing their true colors during the crisis. Yeah, and they're not exactly coloring themselves in glory either, I would say. And my bravo to everyone who is. All right, you're helping make it a better world and a surviving world too. Meredith Logren says, my Marine, my youngest one, was stationed in Spain an extra 2 months because of my Sharona Miley Cyrus. He is back stateside. Oh, but as a precaution, he's in 14-day quarantine just to be on the safe side. Well, Meredith, I'm glad he's home, one, and two, I'm glad he's safe, especially that. All right, and 2 weeks in quarantine is better than anything else. In fact, that's kind of like I was hearing somebody on the radio complain, well, I have trouble breathing in a mask. Well, don't wear it and see how much trouble you have. Anyway, John B. Pica says, Brian Rhodes, thanks. That's what I need to do. I will check out Inkscape. See, that's what we do. We take care of each other. That's rising tide, people. And Pops Van Zandt, Rog Mahart's Mojo Risen is launching June 2nd. He might want to come on. That's true. He might. Pops, how you doing today? And Rick Bradley says, I feel like the government, both federal and state, have failed us. We are the richest country in the world, but I know if I miss one check, that will destroy me financially. And many, many other people are in the same boat. That's it. Exactly. Our economy was already fragile going into this crisis, and now we've got to be extra careful now, including being extra careful who we allow to manage it. Anyway, John B. Pica, I've been a guest at 2 virtual cons, but have not attended one. I've attended a couple. It's like a real convention. If you're not interested in the guests, why go? So, but like I said, I'm interested. I'll be interested to see how the bigger conventions handle it. This sort of thing. And the problem here, says Robert Beatty, is that unemployment is not working. People can't get through on the phones or the website, and Governor Pritzker keeps blowing it off. What are people supposed to do if they can't work or get unemployment to provide for their families? Yeah, that's the thing. I know that Indiana's, the first week of Indiana's, our governor said they had something like 180,000 phone calls. And fortunately, they managed. Yes, some people do slip through the cracks, unfortunately. And the thing is, I was on unemployment for a while in Illinois, and their system, I hope they upgraded it radically, company, and that was a nightmare. And it was frequently quicker for, fortunately, I lived like 1 block away from the unemployment office. And many a time I just walk down there and get it straightened out in 10 minutes, but they did encourage you to go online. And for the most part, online is quicker than talking to a human, unfortunately. I never tried their phones. That was a complete nightmare. But all the systems are strained as it is. So yeah, but that has to be a priority, taking care of downstate in Illinois. That's Robert. I hate to keep singing the same song, but that is why I am so glad I left Illinois every minute here in Indiana for the most part. So I hope things get better in Illinois. I really do. John B. Pica says the con to really watch is Dragon Con. They have Dragon Con TV and are the most prepared to do a great virtual con. That's true. They've had Dragon Con TV for years. So yeah, they're probably like, hey, what's everybody so worried about? Yeah, that's a good point, John. Thank you for sharing that. And then John further says, Robert Beatty, that is happening nationwide. It's sad and frustrating. Yeah, and I imagine it's not any better at your job either, John. It's got to be a real pain in the butt. Canva works well for me to make book teasers, says Michaela Jade. I forgot about Canva. That's true. Good call there. Good call. Rick Bradley, it's not just Illinois. I have friends all over the country that are having that problem. Yeah. And, there's many people who are on unemployment simply because they are now underemployed. So that's creating an additional strain on the system too. Michaela J says, Carl Witzman, you really like Warrior's Secret? OMG, I could just kiss you. I want to be there with the video. And Robert Beatty, I did an in-house con last weekend with some of the cast of Ghostbusters, and this week they have the cast of Superman the movie, and it's only $5. Oh, that's cool. Robert, if you think of it, if you want to put that link in, I think our friends here may appreciate that. John B. Pike, New York and California have the same issues as Illinois. The urban areas really do act as completely separate states. Yeah, I know that California has been talking about dividing itself into 5 sections, and LA would basically be its own state. And what is it? New York, there's been talk more in recent years about basically declaring New York State simply, almost like the Washington, D.C., as kind of like a possession, like Puerto Rico. So we'll see what happens. May we live in interesting times. The country is run by rich people. There, I said it, says Harley Slavic. Yeah, and this is my surprise. Look. Yeah, I know. Like I said in the stage play Camelot, the rich do not, the meek do not inherit the earth, they only inherit the dirt. Robert Beatty, Chicago needs a wall built around it. Thank goodness Sean Penn met with the mayor of Chicago and toured the testing facility. We're all safer now. Oh my gosh, Robert, is that sarcasm I detected? My sarcasm alert go off? Holy cow. I agree. Anyway, Harley Slavic, if you want to buy comics, movies, toys, video games, PC games, electronic CDs, audio cassettes, graphic novels, trades, collectibles, vinyl records, pops, and more, then contact Harley Slavic at gmail.com to request items or ask questions. Express concerns as well. Yes, definitely. That's how he grows as a business, and he has already. Rick Bradley with the T typo in your comment. I had to do a double take, Harley. Yeah, that's the problem. You guys got to, fortunately, I can bail you out most of the time with your autocorrect, but there are times. Harley Slavic, check out the YouTube channel here. Definitely do that. All right. And we are getting closer to getting your comments caught up, and I'm so sorry we got behind, folks. That's what happens with the interactive show. And PennCon is in St. Louis, Missouri at the Red Lion Hotel. And I can further say, Carl, that's at 400 South 14th Street. It's a beautiful facility. It really is. And it is a great show. The nice thing, and I'll amplify on what Michaela is saying, PennCon is a great book show because they might get 800 to 1,200 people, and most of you are saying so freaking what, okay? All of them are there to buy stuff. They're not there to just, take in the author experience like you see at a lot of comic book shows where you see people just, the minute they pay their money and they're just walking around because they have no place else better to go. Or they want to hang around the celebrities and, I'm their best friend now. We're tight, because I stood at his table and watched him sell things for about 4 hours. This is a show where people come in to buy. In fact, a lot of them have competitions as to who could buy the most books. And usually it's like some of them try to buy something from everybody. Okay. Now, here's the thing. For the general public, it's a 2-day show. And for those of us who are like either get a VIP ticket or are part of the sales crew there or vendors, it's a 3-day show for us because the first day is seminars on how to do what we do better. They are educational seminars. Plus they have after hours parties that the organizers put together. And this is something I think is really cool. And I'd love to see other shows do this. They open up the sales floor, say about 10 o'clock in the morning. Then we go till about 1 o'clock, and then they shoo everyone out. I mean, seriously, the volunteers say, okay, wrap up your purchases and please leave. And then for the next hour and a half, the vendors are taken downstairs for lunch. We get lunch. And then we go back about 3 o'clock. and we stay for about 3 more hours. We take that break in the middle. It is civilized. It is really cool. And it's a great environment to hang around creative people and just have a great time. Carl, if I can answer any questions on that, please don't hesitate to ask me, brother, because I think you and Donna would have a good time. And oops, says Harley Slavic. Harley, I can't, it's okay. If that's the worst thing you do today, brother, you're in good shape. And Robert Beatty says Pritzker is seeking extra powers that will allow him to weaponize law enforcement and let him extend his unruly lockdown until October. Yeah, Amy Hale told me about that, and I did my research on it. That is frightening. That is frightening. Between that and the mayor of Champaign, Illinois, who has basically done the same thing for herself. She has basically said, I want the right to be able to enforce martial law in Champaign. That's scary. That's scary as hell. That a mayor is demanding that type of power. And I agree, the thing that Pritzker is asking for in terms of being able to sequester people in their homes and to punish his political enemies who don't want to enforce the executive orders that Pritzker is issuing. And my understanding is they are executive orders. They are not exactly laws. They're just basically like if President Trump says, okay, we're having this lockdown, that it's not actually a law and it can be contested, but actually he's cutting off, all kinds of debate about the thing and asking for punitive measures against the people that disagree with him. I agree with you. That's straight out of Moscow. Going back, shot past all your comments, Bill Sarton says, here's my last kooky condensed commercial for today. I'll be announcing a Mega Mondo Magnificent Memorial Day sale on all of my artwork prints. Click on Sarton Art 76 for details later this week at the artwork of Bill Sarton, where everything old is new again. See now, Bill? You had nice layout here. You can still see me. I can still sell it with my expression and gestures. And also, you got mentioned 3 times, whereas before you were mentioned once. You're welcome for the marketing lesson. And I've got a new weekly author thing on my Facebook page. Well, I'm going to have to check that out because I love checking you out, darling. All right. I definitely want to see what you're doing there. All right. Meredith Logren says, it's still a work in progress, but I've got my website up at meredithlogren.com. There's a link to sign up for the newsletter, I think. Hope the link works. Well, maybe I'll go test that out later, Meredith. And thank you very much again for advice last night. And weekly gripe with RG every Friday from 2 to 3:30 Eastern. Oh, that ought to be fun. Thank goodness it's not just me kvetching. And there we go, inhouse-con.com. Okay, thank you, Robert. I'm going to... and inhouse-con.com. Okay, thank you. Thanks for sharing that, Robert. I appreciate that. Seriously, I'm going to check that out. That's great. And John B. Pica says, I can't believe it's almost already 11 a.m. Eastern. I got to get to work. Catch you on the flip side. Catch you on the flip side, brother. Hey, I got to download that book from you sometime that you mentioned yesterday. That sounds cool. I need to get a copy of that, don't I? And Rick Bradley says, yeah, Brian, how dare you have interesting conversation on here that we all must say things about. I know, right? I'm a total... I really am. What? I ought to quit doing this every day. OMG, PenCon, people bring wagons to haul their books away with. I'm serious. Those flexible flyers, and they bring those little red wagons, and they're piled with books. I've seen some by several hundred books over the weekend. They save all year for this event. Seriously, people. It is a good time. And like I said, Carl, please contact me. We can talk further about it. I've done it for the last couple of years, and I enjoy the show. I really do. Paul Roof says, make sure you get me the info by Wednesday of each week, please. And while you are watching live, please feel free to plug yourself. Very good. Very good. All right. And Rick Bradley says, I'm going to hold off on PenCon until I get a lot more books under my belt. I definitely recommend that. I've only seen one author with one book that made a go of it, and it's because Kenny Sills has a great marketing technique. He really does, and he's got great product to leverage it with. But yeah, more is better. More is better. I think I'll be in good shape this year. Although I'm sharing happily the table with Michaela. The next year I'm going to go back to a full table, but I think by next year I'm going to have a crap ton of stuff to sell. So anyway, Paul Ruff says, oops, I hit the wrong button. Okay, there we go. By the way, if anyone wants a reviewer or writer on their show, just let Paul S. Ruff know. Definitely. And Amy Hale says, the way I understand it, Pritzker is trying to make his word law for the next 150 days. He's trying to bypass the checks and balances processes that are in place. You know, I read that. I asked Amy to send me a link to that because she expressed concerns about that the other day, and I agree completely. It is basically the move that I think, like all but two governors of the last 50 years have been wanting to make, but didn't. I think Blagojevich, if he had thought of it, would have done something like this. But fortunately for Governor Pritzker, we have a crisis going on that he thinks gives him the leverage. And yeah, I agree. I mean, I could see him. Cookie and I were talking about this. We both researched it, and it's like, I have business in Illinois tomorrow. Under this, Pritzker could probably make the margin. Could cut off Illinois from all people, outside the state. Meanwhile, while he's letting the Chicago people who may have this virus, just run around willy-nilly. And I did see that there is some pushback, again, from some of these smaller communities who are saying, we only have 1 or 2 reported cases. We are managing C-19 on a local level. We are not overburdening our medical capabilities. And why are you making us lock down to the same extent of a larger city nearby? I can see that reasoning. I really can. And that's why, and like Governor Pritzker divided the state into like 4 different areas and is treating them, like entire regions like they're the same thing. So like I wouldn't put, like, say, Ridge Farm, Illinois, with a population of maybe 300 people under the same restrictions that I'd put like someplace like Champaign, Urbana, Savoy, which, while, even without the University of Illinois, is about 125,000 people. There's going to be, we almost need to micromanage this stuff, in my opinion. But anyway, let's get back to your comments. Amy Hale says 2021 is the last year for PennCon. Yeah, that's another reason, Amy, I want this year to happen for PennCon, because some of us paid for our tables for 2021. It's going to be a logistical nightmare for Rick and Amy Miles, trying to figure everybody's money out. And secondly, I want him to go out on a high note for both years. I really do. Meredith Logren says this Friday, the Comic Noob is sitting with Luke Stone, Chuck Pinot, Brian K. Morris, and Ted Davies. I'm getting schooled with pitching a story to an editor. Tune in 7 p.m. Eastern time this coming Friday. Definitely check that out. And Meredith, tell everybody where they can check out that show. All right. Bill Starton says, gotta get going. I have a few irons in the fire, and I'm completely out of puns for those irons. Well, you grab them irons, partner. We're going to have a showdown. Going to have to buy some time from Cindy Kemp. I'll see everyone tomorrow morning on Nevermind the Furthermore at 10 a.m. on the east side of the Wabash and 9 a.m. on the west. Via con dias amigos. Hey, Bill, thank you very much. And thank you for following directions. See, you got 3 plugs out of that. And Michaela Jade will tell you 3 pluggings are better than just 1. Anyway, here we go. And we are not going to, we're not going to, Eric Hawkins, shame on you, shame on you. I am not going to say Pritzker is a prick. I will refuse to say that your governor of your state that I fled happily is a prick. All right. I refuse to say that, no matter how true it is. Not that it may be, but it is that he's a prick. I'm not going to say it. Not me. And Brian Hawkins, here we go. Hey, if there are any Ghost Hunter fans out there, the Glen House in my hometown of Cape Girardeau, Missouri is going to be featured on the show tonight. Oh, wow, cool. I've been there at night, and it is pretty unsettling. Wow, that'll be enough to make me watch regular TV. That is very cool. cool. That is very cool, Brian. Thank you for sharing that with us, man. And also, don't forget bigskink.com. And $3,603. Woohoo! That's your total on your Kickstarter. Yes. $3,603. He's less than $4,000 away from making or at $4,000, he's less than 400, excuse me, from making his next stretch goal for that new collectible card. So please check out that thing. We've got 6 more days to go on that Kickstarter, and Eric is so close. Please, Nevermind, if you have not pledged before, please take a look at that and consider pledging. And if you have pledged already, please consider increasing your pledge, because there's a lot of cool stuff still available from Eric Hawkins. I'm looking forward to seeing that winning streak there. And one more announcement, says Meredith Logren, about the Comic Noob. Beginning May 29th, I'm moving the show time to 4 p.m. Eastern to stay in line with the Comic Book Advocate Network. Thank you, Rob Anderson, for the opportunity. Definitely. Thank you, Rob Anderson, for my Thursday show. And it looks like I'm keeping, at least right now, Clever Title pending where it is. And we'll have to come up with something different. Maybe we'll do one that's more comic-centric, all right? And let's go here. Robert Beatty, meanwhile, the mayor can meet in public in front of cameras with Sean Penn while she barks orders about people staying home. Well, that's the way politicians work, do as I say and not what I have no intention of doing. Rick Bradley, everyone take care and stay creative. Rick Bradley, you do the same, brother. Don't stop now. You're on a roll. Also, I'm very glad I hadn't taken a drink when you read Eric's comment. I didn't read it. I didn't say nothing about your governor being a prick. I'm sorry. I did not want to say that. And this show is too classy to say that Governor Pritzker is a prick. I'm not falling into that trap. You're going to fool some other hosts into saying he's a prick, but not me. Anyway, it's only a matter of time before Pritzker is in prison like every other governor. Yeah, Eric Hawkins, you're right. Well, it's like that story I keep saying. Years, when Blagojevich was the governor and was under indictment and everything, they had Jim Edgar on, who had been the governor. I think he was governor like right after I got out of college back in the 70s, in that area. And he was a decent governor for Illinois. He did a lot for him. But he was introduced by then Afternoon Drive host Ro Khan, who's now on WGN, as the only governor of the last 7 who had never been under indictment. And it stopped Jim Edgar in his tracks. He's like, I never thought of that. It's like, like every governor, and some of them had not been indicted until after they left the office, but but all of them had, wound up under a cloud. So anyway, Robert Beatty says prick is an understatement. Probably so. I suspect. I can tell from the satisfied electorate that is discussing him right now. And truth, says Amy Hale, land of Illinois where our governors make our license plates. I said for years that Illinois could probably get out from under its basically crushing debt. I believe it is the most state. I think it is currently the most broke state in the all 50, including our protectorates. But yeah, I always said that that if they had gotten like Blagojevich to hand make and sign license plates, they could have charged like extra, and people would probably ponied up for that. Robert Beatty says, I wish that day would come sooner than later. Yeah, I think it would be good. It's like when, again, under Blagojevich, when they issued that special tax, or not Blagojevich, but I think it was the man after him, Blagojevich's successor, that he instituted some sort of temporary tax that wound up being permanent. And all the states around Illinois, suddenly their slogan, and I'm not joking, their slogan was "Come to Indiana, we're not Illinois." I think Wisconsin, Michigan, all of them, Iowa did it, the same thing, or not Wisconsin, but it would have been Michigan, I think, or no, it would have been, it'd been in Michigan. But yeah, it was just a mess. It was just total mess, and Illinois is still a mess. But anyway, hopefully the other 49 states where the rest of you are living are not like the Illinois gulag that Eric, Amy, and Robert happen to live in. So, and Rick. So on that hopeless note, Oh my God, it's been lively this morning, and I'm sorry I fell so far behind in your comments this morning. That is, unfortunately, that's going to be happening more than it doesn't, because between people commenting and people promoting, which we do want to encourage a lot, and we are going to and also the limitations of the platforms we are using. We may miss some of your comments, and I apologize for that. But unfortunately, that's the price that this show pays. And I'm sorry, I'm sorry that may happen, and I'm sorry if somebody winds up getting unhappy because we miss a comment. But believe me, unless it's something nasty like calling your governor a prick, you know, which we're not going to do, that it's going to happen more often than not. So we ask your patience, and if it's something really really important and I miss it, please repost it. All right. Um, or sometimes I get people who don't know where they just don't look at where they are in the queue, and some people are very, and most 99% of you are very patient about looking and say, oh wait, he hasn't gotten to my comment yet, and we are trying desperately. So but anyway, that is going to happen. And of course, Amy Hale summarizes my audience so succinctly: we're so cheerful and uplifting. Yes, you are, darling. You all are. You're all sweethearts. Even when you're calling your governor names. And I'm trying to be nice about mine. But anyway, move to Indiana. We're not Illinois. Uh, and we can travel wherever the hell we want right now. And Amy Hale says, you haven't called him a prick 3 times now. Exactly. And I'll that's a hat trick. Or in his case, would that be a hat prick? Anyway. A new theme emerges on this show. At least it's not dino porn. But anyway, uh, thank you, Amy. I love you. Anyway, we have been here a little over 2 hours, and that's enough. Good Lord, people. Don't be greedy. Anyway, just some programming notes here. Today, please, 4 p.m., the OnCon Connection. We're bringing the convention to you rather than you, because you sure as hell can't get to them. So anyway, we're bringing the convention to you. Rob Anderson's going to host another great panel this afternoon. Please check it out. And also check out last night's episode of Clever Tile Pending. We'll let you know as soon as possible once we line up the 26th who we're going to have on. We're chasing a couple people, but we'll let you know. But it's going to be a great conversation. And speaking of one Hale of a great conversation, check out Amy Hale's page, Amy Hale Author, on Facebook. Tomorrow night at 7 p.m. Central, 8 p.m. Eastern, and she is going to talk to Jose Santiago Jr., actor and motivational speaker and all-around fun guy. He's a great actor, great person, and you will love it. And I think I just heard Cookie show up. I think I heard her call my name. So we are going to call this a day. So anyway, thank you all for being here. And also, don't forget, as usual, Rising Tide Publications page, where we have fresh content twice or more. Now we're doing more than 3 things a day. Rising Tide Publications. Please check it out. All the cool things we got there. Also, risingtide.pub. Where you can sign up for my monthly newsletter. Next one goes out June 1st. Also, check out our Facebook page, Camouflage 61820, or 21 rather. It's this page right here. Please subscribe when you get there, because it helps the algorithms. Hi, honey.
Hiya.
I'm just signing off.
Sweet.
All right. Anyway, my honey has come home, so I must tend to her every need. Is that right?
Yep.
All right. So, yep, you guys are screwed. Anyway.
You need to be more emphatic.
Yeah, really. The only other way is if you showed up on camera. Yeah, what are the odds of that, right? Anyway, again, thank you all for being here. Thank you. And there we go. Nick Tockert, the last plug of the day. Nick T at DeviantArt. Check out his amazing work. He is great. And check out Big Stompy Robots and other great works by Nick Tockert on Amazon, as well as his wife Amanda Tockert on Amazon also. And Robert Beatty says, hi, Cookie. Hiya, she says. Thank you for that. Anyway, folks, we are going to take our leave now. Don't forget, we're on risingtide.pub, Rising Tide Publications, OnCon, YouTube. We're everywhere. And now we're on iHeartRadio and Spotify. Meredith Logren, thank you so much. And check out meredithlogren.com and tell her how awesome her website is. And so, everyone, please have a sensational day, one and all. Remember, stay smart, stay safe, wash your damn hands, and never apologize for being awesome. We will see you tomorrow on Nevermind the Furthermore. Have a fantastic day, everyone. See you tomorrow at 10 a.m.
Now comes the part where we throw our heads back and laugh. Ready?
Ready!